Now, moving on. What is the next thing that we're going to move? Moving on, it's going to be drawing the grid. Drawing the grid. Also, wait a second. I just did. Should have liked it, but it's a little bit better. But I wouldn't use it on anything other than Windows or like maybe Mac. I guess like Mac it can work on if you have like a really good system. If you have like don't have enough memory or anything else like that, I wouldn't even try. Get cracking. Let's see. What am I looking for? Oh, right. I want to note down what I was doing because that'll make it a little bit easier for myself. So over here, I just added, this is gonna be 20. Okay, so you're gonna be 20 and what is it that we were just working on? We were just working on like moving to and from edit mode. Okay. You've recently started testing, Git UI. I've heard really good things about that, and it's on my list to check out. Especially, eventually I want to like try switching over to Vim for some editing type stuff, and then that would be perfect if I use Vim and like a screen multiplexer, like, what is it called? I keep on forgetting the name of it. I remember like the name of the screen because I use that forever. Tmux, that's what it is. I haven't used Tmux very much. I used Screen back in the day all the time. So yeah, like basically Tmux with NeoVim because I've and Git UI. That's what I'm thinking of like switching to. We'll get to that. And if I do that, I could do all of my code in WSL and then just run it out in Windows land. Well, like Screen did that for me too, and that's the main reason I had Screen. Bear, hello, good morning. Oh, you do some work as an on-call engineer via a phone hotspot? Oh, wow. Yeah, phone connections are fun when working with those. Okay. Drawing a grid. Time to tackle this. So draw edit level. The first thing we need to do, make sure is we're updating our level name. So a lot of this is going to be rewritten here. So I'm just going to do a new update. So pub function, we have an update. We're going to be listening for this event name. We are going to return a result. So if let okay events navigating to navigation screens edit level. Okay, so if we're navigating to edit level, then we want to take in the level name. I'm kind of missing the equals part of this. Equals self dot event receiver try rec v. Okay, so if we're navigating to edit level, we want to store this away. So self dot level name equals some level name. Now, if it's another event, so if we're navigating anywhere else other than edit level, so I guess if we're going back to play, that's what it is. So we can go back to play. But really, it's like if we're navigating anywhere else, I want to remove this. So let's see, how would that work? We have if let okay, navigating navigation screens. So I guess here I just want to remove you. It's gonna be a navigation screen equals this. Then we're gonna match, I think. Or can I match off the top of this here? Maybe I can. So if I match okay event navigating to nav with a navigation screen inside equals this. Oh wait, no, it's gonna be okay, match you. And then here, the arm that I'm caring about is going to be an event navigating to navigation screens, edit level name. Okay, here we go. If we get the level name, I want to say self dot level name equals some level name. If it's any other navigating to. So event navigating to. If it's anything other here, I don't even care what this is. We're going to self.level name is equal to none, like that. Now, if it's any other event, I don't really care. We're going to do a no op. Let's see, mismatch types. Oh, it's an okay to begin with. So it's okay with this inside. And you're also an okay with this inside. Okay, so now we want to go back to, I'm going to go back and run this. So in update, self dot draw editing level, update, and that's it. So now when we switch to navigating mode, we should have this in there. So when we do the actual draw and run part of this, we should have the name properly. We don't have to do any craziness that we were doing before. Which means we can also grab the name out. Yeah, let's see. So here we have run. We take context, the level manager, and the world in. I don't actually know if we need the world in here. Do I write tests much as part of your development process? So in my real world applications, I write a lot of tests. Yes. For these games, for the libraries that I've written, I've written a lot of tests. For the actual game itself, I have not. It's probably something that I should do, but I just haven't been doing it. Also, I guess the other thing is I am trying to be, I know there's a big educational part of this, but at the same time, I feel like it gets too boring and then I lose everybody if I'm just starting to write lots and lots of tests. So I generally that's kind of my excuse, but it's not a good excuse, but it is an excuse. Okay, I don't think we need the world. We do need the context and level manager. Do we need the world? I'll keep it in, and then if we need it, if we don't need it at the end of this, I will remove it. Okay, so first of all, we don't need to update if we're editing. So that's good. We can check to see if we're not editing here. So if let none equals self dot level name. So if we have no level name, we're going to return early. So that's going to be our guard. Something that I haven't done much is like commenting out, like adding in comments for like educational purposes. Like normally I wouldn't need to like write a comment for this because I think this is pretty obvious what's happening. It's a guard clause. Hey, if there's none, but like I could also write in like, hey, this is how we want to check if the level name exists. The only reason it doesn't is if we aren't in editing mode. So we want to exit early if we are in anything other than editing mode. If there are no tests, I suppose that's why we have QA. Yes, although like you still need QA if there are tests. Although like the relationship changes if there's no tests. Like I guess the biggest thing is there's always some kind of like test that happens. The question is, does it happen in production or not? And because I'm not like selling any of these games, it's not like going out to like the public. There's not been that sort of like need for that. Now, I'm slowly getting my skills up to the point where I probably could make a game and sell it. I don't know how I'd feel about that. I might actually do a lot more tests at that point in time, because if people are actually going to use this for real, then I'm going to want to like actually treat this as a real project at that point in time. Okay, so the main reason you write tests is that it stops other people from breaking your code by accident. That's very true. And then other people include ourselves in the future. We want them to understand like, hey, at least like, you know, these changed, like you broke it. Oh, is none. We can use is none. I keep on forgetting there's an is none. We can do, okay. So if self.level name dot is none. Oh, I forgot. This is such an amazing method that you can use in options. It makes things so much nicer. Okay, so now I don't want to bail because this is not an error state. It just means we don't want to do anything. And now I could do an if let okay and then have everything in here, but everything sort of like starts tabbing over to the right. I want to keep everything over to the left as much as possible. So it's sort of like a philosophy that I have. It makes it a little bit easier to read, I think. But I know some people have very strong opinions about returning early. Option is an example of what makes Rust so nice. I agree. I really do like option. Took me a while to get used to it, but I like it a lot. Okay, so we actually have the level name now. So I don't need to do this. We have that. Although it's behind something else. So you know what I want to do here is slightly to this, change this a little bit. So we're going to do level name equals if, okay, so this, now we are going to have to do if let sum level name equals self.level name So if this is good, then we're going to return the level name. Otherwise, we're going to return early. And we just turn this if into an if expression. Yeah, enums are so awesome. The enum Rust actually made me understand enums properly. But now I just want Rust enums in every language. Because like I go and like in my day job, I do a lot of PHP, a little tiny bit of TypeScript, and I just miss Rust enums. What are you upset about? Cannot move out of this. Okay, fine. We won't move out of it. We'll just be a reference. So we'll now have a reference to the level name here. So here we go. We got the level name. So then I can also say like this pattern allows us to get the level name allows us to get the level name out. Also handle the none case at the same time. Then we can get the level. So, okay, so get the level and then we can unwrap. Now, the reason why it feels safe unwrapping here is because we should never not be able to get the level. This level is like being passed around. It should definitely exist. I don't have any system for deleting levels here. So if the level doesn't exist, then we've got a problem. So we pass it in here and now we get the level out. Then we need to calculate, okay, we can calculate the cell size based upon, and I'm gonna have everything be a square because everything else is a square in here. So it's gonna take like the smallest cell size, I think, from here. So here is calculate cell size. Basically, we just figure out from the level, we get the screen coordinates, and then we have to figure out like to get everything fitting on the screen, what is the cell size that we need? The joke there is option and results are enums with impl to give them the functionality they have. So you can make your own version of option without anything special. Absolutely, yes. The only problems come in when you try to create option and results in other languages that don't actually support them natively. Then it's a lot of extra like boiler code to like actually get something that kind of sort of almost works, but then you're not going to get the compiler. You're not going to get anything that like enforces them like you do with Rust. Yeah, exactly. Or even if you do, yeah, like, for example, TypeScript, yeah, you can't, like, you have to write all this other code around it and basically have like a class for a result as opposed to just an enum. And then you're just getting rid of the enum part. Yeah, it's not as nice. But at that point, might as well just start programming Elm, right? Dota 2 Attitude, hello, good morning. Okay, so then we start building this mesh because we're gonna start creating all these lines. So we have a line height. Okay, so we figure out where the line height is going to be. Okay, so I think we're just doing a draw out of all of the stuff that we got here. So updates editing. This doesn't need to happen anymore. Calculate cell size. We need that. Current level name. We don't need this anymore because we can get that out of the level because it's in the level. So now, I want to, so we run here. Okay, we already doing updates. Let's come back down to here and we'll do a run and pass in all these things. All right, bunch of stuff we don't need. World, we're not using that yet, so I'll just underscore it for right now. All right, no more warnings. Oh yeah, the Rust book is great. And I think I actually have a new command for that. So we can do bang Rust book. Okay, so let's go into play mode. We'll go into introduction and I'll hit edit mode. And here is, here's our grid. So this is horizontal. So we have 10, right? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are we missing this last one? I think. Don't worry, I have those commands are just ignored. Yeah, I think this last one is a panel, but it doesn't exist. Which means I should probably create one. Okay, so let's try equals. I think that will do it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So that does that. If you don't want the message to show up in a teleprompter, be sure to bang before you troll. Oh yeah, I guess I did turn off like bang because I set in there like what are the commands so it doesn't show up there. Oh, you did this on Toggle Stream one day so that, like nobody could see anything? Oh, how fun. Okay, so we now have the vertical lines for the grid. Now we need the horizontal lines. So let's do one more here. So for count in 0 ... equals level dot height. And I think it's gonna be the same thing, isn't it? It's gonna be start. It's gonna be slightly different. So start is let's give it a 0.2. So our start is going to be for X. It's always going to be zeros. And for the Y's, this is where it's going to change. We're going to do count as an F32 and multiply this by our cell size. Do we have to figure out our end? Now, what I can do is I can actually make these my point twos, like my points. So my point new. Let's do this. So we have an X. We have a Y, which is just this. I think this is going to work nicely. So end is also going to be a point. We'll find out. Okay, so for the end of each one of them, X is going to be on the far right-hand side. How far is that? I guess it's going to be 0 plus the line height. So start.x plus the line length, line height. And for our y, it's going to be, well, the exact same. So we can just do start.y. Like literally the same. Because I'm just going across now. Then do mesh builder, line. Okay, so a reference to this array with start dot. I wonder if this is gonna work. To array or end dot to array. Width is 1.0 and color will make you white. I'm curious if this is gonna work. Have I seen the channel points? Oh, no, you know what? I haven't. I've watched Primogen's stream, but I haven't actually like looked at his channel points. Oh, yeah, you can send. I noticed like a lot of people have the things like change the interface color. I've never really implemented that. I've always thought that that might like bother other people too much. But yeah, he also shows like his typing commands in his keyboard, and I'm always too scared that like I'll somehow have that on when I'm typing a password, and then that will be terrible. Okay, so let's go into edit mode, and here's our grid. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so perfect. Now, the idea is that it fills up one sort of side of things here. So, this is cool. So this is our full level as it is right now. Now, if I come into level manager mod, and we update this. This is a 10 by 10. Let's say that their width is going to be like 50. And we run this again. So introduction is going to be 50 wide. Well, that didn't work out. Line, well, we definitely shouldn't use line height. We should have a line width then, shouldn't we? So we have line, let's see, let line width equals, okay, so this is gonna be level dot width as an F32 times the cell size. And then down here, you're gonna be for the X stuff. Line width. I wonder if you could write one of those key press displays that also knows your passwords and won't display it. Well, so the problem is that if I was to do that, how would it know I'm entering a password? So therefore it would have to be listening to everything, and then it's also displaying each character as I'm doing them. So therefore it needs to know each character and then not display those, which means I've now just displayed my password through showing every other character that it could possibly be. That's also like a not good. Okay, so here's our go to edit mode, and here's our level. for niceties, like it might be nice to like center this or like put it at the bottom or something like that. I'm not gonna worry about that too much. I just want to like, you know, display what things are in here. But this is the first part. We're displaying the grid, and it's awesome. You need to switch or have fields that know. Yeah, it's like there's too much there's too much danger in there still. Also, like if you press paste, as long as it, because I don't think that it reads them in one character. Does it paste everything, or does the operating system catch it like one character at a time? So that could also be a problem, potentially, maybe. All right, we have no errors, so I can close all of these up, and let's take a look. You are okay. So we are displaying a grid representing the level when editing. So that is this. A grid displays for each cell that is part of the level. Okay, so then next is going to be each grid cell has a platform on it or is filled in. So we have the level. We now need to display things in. But you know what? I realized I probably want to fix that up just a tiny bit. We have these two for loops here. This run function is starting to get a little bit messy. So we have level, we have cell size. Try and create the mesh builder. We have the line height. I think I want to take this out and like put these into their own functions. So maybe like draw grid, and then we can pass the mesh builder in. I'm going to take a mesh builder, which is a mutable reference to a mesh builder. And I don't need to return anything because we're just going to mutate this mesh builder. Password managers are scary. Why are they scary? Hopefully not a web browser one. Are there anything that are web browser ones? Like I know a lot of them have the ability to do a web browser if you use like the cloud saving, but are there non? Like, are there ones that are only cloud? Okay, so I've got these down there in here. So draw the grid. Which means we're gonna need these, I think, elsewhere in here. Okay, so what are you upset about? And we'll pass you in. Okay, so we need the level. So level. We need the cell size. Then the line height and line width. I think those can be calculated down here. So you two come down here and we put you in there. Okay, so mesh builder, we have that. Line, start, end, so we have that. we do need to return. Okay, so we need to return a result, which is going to be like that, which means down at the end here, turn it okay like that. Okay, so then draw grid. So then we'll do self dot draw grid, pass it in this mesh builder, the level and the cell size. All right, making this function a little bit easier to read. Oh yeah, Chrome and Firefox have sync options on if you create an account with them. Like I don't have an account with Firefox. I've never logged into that. So like even if they wanted to try to send anything, and then also the other thing is like go in and like turn off save, like try to save password so I can't accidentally click like okay with that. Yeah, just don't do that. Browsers try to be helpful. And although I have to admit, if you're not going to use any kind of password manager at all, a browser's password manager is better than nothing. But a native password manager is gonna be better than the browser. I like YubiKeys also. I really do. I like YubiKeys, especially after one time my phone broke and I had to wait until it got repaired. And because of that, I couldn't log into anything because I was using all of my two-factor on my phone. So that's when I went out and got a YubiKey. I needed something separate. Okay, so we draw the grid out. Everything should still work. Let's go ahead and double check that. There you go. Okay, so everything is still working. We can still come back here. It's all good. Now we have, this one specifically has a floor set in for us. So I want to draw that out. And I think that's going to be this next part. Each grid cell that has a platform on it is filled in. I'm thinking right now we don't have to draw the image for that. We could just draw like, I don't know, some color representing it. Although we could still draw an image for it. It's, but we need to work with scaling, which might not be as fun. Well, tying 2FA to your phone number is not a good thing. Absolutely, is a super bad thing. Tying it to the phone is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. But again, it comes back down to like, if you don't have any at all, it's still better than nothing. Okay, so draw the grid. Then the next thing I want to draw is like actually just draw all the level elements out. So let's just do this in a new function because we know we're gonna do that anyways. So we're gonna have a function. So draw platforms. It's not going to be platforms. It's going to be draw like the level elements. So like draw level, essentially. So we're going to have our level come in. It's going to be a reference to a level. We have to have a context. I don't know if we need anything else. Probably will. Oh, you know what we want? We want this the mesh builder. So we're gonna loop through the level. So we're gonna iterate through the level. So for I don't know what we're gonna get. So something in level dot map. Guess that's what it is. Okay. Then that gives us a grid coordinate and the entry. So the grid coordinate and then the actual like the cell. Oh, because okay, so it's gonna be the entity that we're gonna put in here. So if I just debug, but let's debug grid coordinate entity that. Let's make sure we're not taking ownership of them. Entity doesn't implement debug. We can fix that. We can fix that. Entity is not in there. So we want our level manager mod. Here it is, entity. Okay, so then you are gonna derive debug. Then I think you're good to go. So now we can run this, and we're gonna wait, no, we can't run this now. We have to call that function, don't we? We have to call draw level. So pass in the level, context, and mesh builder. That's it. And so we should see just a bunch of things printed out there for whatever we're doing. There it is. So we can see, hey, it's a platform and it's a grid coordinate, and this is the grid coordinates that it's at. And so I can use the cell size to determine the pixel position to put that in. Yeah, I totally agree. Anybody who's like not tech savvy just doesn't like, they don't, it's a combination of like not even understanding the risk that you're in, and then understanding how to even like do it or how to recover if you fail. Or like, you know, if you forget your password, if you lose your 2FA device, like how bad that can be and how hard it can be to recover from that. So making those things easier and reducing the cost of implementation is really important. But I think we're doing better, like just showing it off. I like YubiKeys, but like I also understand phone-based is probably going to be the easiest way for almost everybody. I don't mean text message. I mean like actual like phone-based Google Authenticator style. And if I go up far enough, we should see, yeah, okay, here's the end. So we can see like an end and everything else. Google Auth is okay. You can use that almost everywhere. Almost everywhere. I remember Twitch for the longest time didn't allow you to use Google Authenticate. I think, did they still not allow you to? Is it still the other one? Where you can, do they still use Authy? I don't like Authy. I don't like Authy because Authy allows you to reset through your phone number, which is not good. Let's see. Exactly. Exactly. So given here, we know the coordinate that we're getting at. And we know what we're going to be placing in. So let's choose platform. Let's just do the platforms right now, and we'll do like start and end later. Okay, so platform, coordinate. Okay, so you. So I need for each of these, if it's a platform. Well, regardless, we're going to create a square for it. So I could create a rectangle just right to begin with. So that this rect is going to be equal to a rect new. Okay, so we need the X, the Y, and the width and the height. Well, the width and the height is going to be simple, right? Because we already have that with the cell size. So we need cell size in here. Cell size and pass that in. So we have our X and a Y, and then cell size, cell size. Now to create the X and the Y, okay? That's going to be the grid coordinate X and Y, and then we want to multiply those by the cell size. I think that's going to be the simplest. So it's going to be X equals grid coordinate dot X times cell size. Y equals coordinate dot Y cell size. Well, these X's and Y's are U32s, so convert them to F32s. Okay, so this gives us a rect. Color. We can make them all green right now, but yeah. Create another function for this. Function sort of like let me wait until I get to it. So we have this rect. We're gonna then do a graphics. No, we're gonna do a mesh builder dot rectangle. Okay, so we have a draw mode. Fill. Do I need to pull in draw mode? Do. Bounds, is this going to be this rect? Now, color, what we're going to put in. So we need to grab a color from this and pass in what the entity is. So function, basically entity, like create entity color. We're going to take in an entity, which is a reference to an entity. And we're going to return a color. So what are you going to be? Let's see. So I can match off of entity. If you're a platform, let's make you green. So we're going to return color new 0, 1, 0, 1. That. If you're a player, what are we thinking? If you're the player, blue maybe? Color new, 0, 0, 1, 1. And if you're the end, I don't know if I want to do white. We can do sort of like a grayish color, like a bright gray. Maybe like 200, 0.9, 0.9, 0.9, 1.0. So this will give us that. Send in color, we'll just do self dot. We're doing everything up here anyways. Let color equals self dot create entity color, and we'll pass in that entity. Gives us a color, and pass in color here. Oh, we don't need the context. Nice. Okay, so I don't need that down here. Which means here we don't need to pass in U. Okay, so this draws the level. Let's see if the level gets drawn out. Now, right now we only have a floor, but that should just be the floor across the bottom. Biggest security conundrum I faced recently is deciding to get a hardware crypto wallet. Well, I can't really tell you anything about that. I am way out of my element with crypto security. So there it is. Okay. So this is really bright. I feel like we can make that dimmer. But here's our floor. Okay, here's where we're starting, and here's our end way up there. There's no way we can end. Well, yeah, we can maybe fix that. Okay, so let's make this a little bit dimmer. So we can make our green darker. Instead of 1.0, everything else is 0, so I can just do 0.4. 0.8 is probably fine here. The end is pretty bright too. Bring that down to 0.4. Something like that. Well, okay, there's secure, like, secure has different, there's different definitions for that. Like, Face ID, but then also, any of the bio IDs are not secure in that. But like, if somebody is drunk and they open up their password system and then they fall over, then that's not secure either. But that doesn't mean it's not a good idea to use it. Okay, so I think this is a little bit easier to see. Okay, so what are we on about this? So each grid cell has a platform that's filled in on it. So that's there. The start cells are filled in with where the player will start. We have that. The end cells are filled in with a player will finish the level. Okay, we have that too. So I think this is another good place to sort of like create an end to like the YouTube video part, because we've got like that's a huge amount of sort of like updates there. No warnings. You're working great. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this archive video here, and I will see you in the next one.